Alright, I'll just start talking about my fucking musical life here.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, this was, and I had the original, I don't know what year, but hand-me-down from my father. It was very important to learn what real music was and what you call corporate music, pop music, as kids. And I have an older brother and two older stepbrothers, so Led Zeppelin was the absolute first thing, and something I come back to this very day. Led Zeppelin 1 is still in my top 10 favorite records of all time. This was the first thing I heard, and I said, I want to be a guitar player, which is the first instrument I learned, because songs like Dazed and Confused and Good Times, Bad Times, How Many More Times, like, dude, it was just, it still holds up in my mind as one of the most heavy records of all time. And this was the start of my most addicting drug in the world, which I call music. Nevermind and In Utero are the reason why I started singing. And I took what I learned from Led Zeppelin and Nirvana, and then, man, my life completely changed. I went, and there's some records over here. That led to, this record was huge. I had this on tape.
Yeah.
I used to listen to it on the way to elementary school in my friend's parents' car, and I would know when to turn it down and pretend like I was talking because there was a cuss word. And I had that memorized. And that, and my brother had this, my older brother, Soundgarden, which was huge for us as well. And now we're on Soundwave with Soundgarden. It's like,
I love this record.
What is happening? This is so rad.
I'd like to say that this is one of the most important records that has ever come across my existence. For whatever reason, I was a huge fan of this band from the get-go, always have been. Like, did some small tours with them when I was much younger, like too young to understand what I was even doing at the time. But this record in particular, I think, helped me mature as an artist, because it wasn't the kitsch or the moves or any sort of like transient thing about the album that got me. It was the depth and like the emotional catharsis that I went through listening to it for the first time. Forever indebted to these dudes just for making this thing. Huge.
Right now,
huge.
The Fragile and With Teeth was one of the most important records to me on the other side. And I'm also the Deftones, who has been since, that's backtracking a little bit, but from Adrenaline on. Like, I was in middle school listening to Adrenaline, and my older brother and his friend called in 13th caller on the radio station and won the tape of Around the Fur the week before it came out, and we would ride around in his car and listen to it. And I would be in the backseat because I was the not cool little brother.
Yeah.
And that, with Deftones, came 9 Inch Nails, which is still to this day one of my all-time favorite bands, one of the best live bands I've ever seen in my life. While that was happening, I had that poppier side of me, and still listening to Nirvana, still listening to Led Zeppelin, but discovering bands like Poison the Well and Dillinger Escape Plan, and that was my first record that actually made it.
What did it feel like when you actually got the first record in your hand?
Just to have a vinyl was insane. Like, I had made CDs before. I mean, I even worked at a record label in the back. I mean, not record label, a studio, packing boxes, just because I wanted to be around music. And that was when I was in high school. And that's when I started playing. I was still in poppier rock bands, singing a lot, more like Deftones style, mixed with some a little bit of Nirvana influence. And then after my senior year is when we started like screaming and doing the metal thing and playing our own shows. So holding my first, when we printed a vinyl, it was pretty surreal. Like, I can just holding this. I haven't held one of these in a long time. I can remember exactly what it was like. Dude, we were in a van and we were touring my old band, This Runs Through, and this band Evelyn, who ended up being, that dude left and did Between the Buried and Me, and then he went Sleeper, and now he's in Woven War. And those dudes are in As I Lay Dying, and then now they're in Woven War. That came from Evelyn, and the bass player went to This Will Destroy You. We were all in one van together, and this never got stopped playing, because we called it the modern day Led Zeppelin. Because if Led Zeppelin came out in 2000, what was this, 2002, 2001?
2003?
2003. Because that was the last tour I did with This One's Through, because I joined Under Oath in 2003. This was like, holy shit. This is like, this is, if Led Zeppelin was reborn today, it would have been this. This record was phenomenal. Phenomenal record.
I mean, it's like,
This is
it.
everything
That's the crowning
Under Oath wanted to be with Chasing Safety, and we blew it. This was it, dude. This and brand new, the Deja Intindu, which I didn't particularly like, but the Devil and God, I was totally blown away with that. That record was like, okay, we suck.